Cleaning Nation, welcome to our kind of semi-monthly, or when I get around to it, case study. Today we have Christina Joceyln. I literally just did a podcast with her with zero intent of doing a case study. She started bragging on how smart she is and all these results she got. And I'm like, well, that's the end of that. We're going to have her on a case study because I knew I would get it from you guys about why did you coach her? Why did you have her tell us what she did? Blah, blah, blah. Christina's a little different. Most of the case studies I have are folks doing hundreds of thousands, $500,000, million, or millions of dollars. This may be the first kind of starter upper we've done, or certainly in a while, which is fun because I know a lot of you guys and gals are in that spot, right? You're not at $1 million, or even $500,000, or even $250,000. You're looking to get to $10,000, $20,000 a month. That's where Christina's at. She just started a couple months ago, or she just started. Well, she's going to tell her story, but that's how this came to be. I will link to the podcast if you're on the webpage. I'll link to the podcast that she did that precipitated this whole thing. But she's going to tell her story. I'm going to crack wise and make fun of her, and hopefully y'all learn something. So, Christina, instead of a professional interviewer like I should be introducing you and get all this stuff, I'm going to shut up. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the world who you are, why they should care.
Well, I'm Christina Joceyln. I own Your Happy House Cleaner, and you should care because you're listening to Mike's podcast or whatever this is, and so it's obviously important things. But I don't know. I did the podcast earlier just because I had some questions, and I started my business less than a year ago, and I'm just trying to learn as much as I can to grow it as big as I can.
All right. So tell us about, well, we'll kind of give the ending away first, and then we'll go back to the beginning. So where are you at now in terms of whatever metrics you want to share, employees or revenue or customers, or like, first of all, you're residential, right? Only residential, correct?
Yes.
Good. The least favorite thing I have is
routine.
Yeah. So you see what you said there? Residential, that's key. Not, residential, commercial, whoever's got money, that'll kill you starting out. Routine maintenance. So not, I'm going to come wash your dog for a nickel, but I'm going to come every week, every other week on a periodic basis to clean, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So tell us where you're at now. And we're recording this in early August, and you started, I've heard a couple things on the podcast, 2 months ago, 9 months ago. What am I missing? 9 months is when you started?
I started 9 months ago in October.
Okay.
We got out of the military. We moved back to the Nashville area, and then I started just because I needed a job, and none of the jobs fit around my kid's schedule, so I made one. And I just started cleaning just a few houses here and there, and I was still in school. I was getting a degree in business psychology, and I love school. I've always loved school. I've loved learning, but I was really enjoying the business. I was really enjoying the cleaning company. I love my clients. I was enjoying the work, and I just wanted to I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be in school. I was supposed to be doing something. So at the end of May, when that semester was over, I just decided to go full force into the cleaning company itself. And that's when I found you. So I still wanted to learn. I still have a lot to learn. But instead of the classroom setting, I just decided to do, I guess, on-the-job type training of myself.
So let me repeat back what I thought I heard you say. So again, we're in August, early August. You started this in October while you were in school. So October, November, December, right? Yeah. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. I've got 8 months. So for the first 8 months, you were doing this part-time. And then when school ended, you went full-time, and that's been a month or two.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's see. So how many customers did you have in the part-time part?
Part-time, I had about, I think, 7.
Okay, so 0 to 7 customers in 9 months part-time. And was that just mostly like friends and family, or how'd you get those first 7?
They were friends and family. They were people that we met when we came back, and I just sort of talked about how I was thinking about cleaning, and a couple of them was like, well, I'll pay you to clean my house. And I said, well, okay.
We got a deal.
And then just word of mouth from there. I grew up around here, so I know a lot of people, and they just supported me and helped me out. And I was really enjoying it. And then I decided, about the same time I decided to quit school, I decided to start actually advertising for it. Beyond just, I've done some events. So like I did some of the local events and, booth sort of.
So you say local events, you're talking about like trade shows or home and garden shows or something like that. Okay. How'd those work out for you?
Really well. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he had a photography business for 30 years. And he said one of the most important parts about getting your business out there is getting your face out there. So I didn't really go to those expecting to necessarily sign up people. I just kind of went out to like network and meet some people and get my name out and get my card out. And that worked pretty well, I think. And I would give away some free cleanings and stuff, and I got some work off of those. So worked
Okay.
out
Yeah.
pretty well.
And
But I didn't do it full time. So
sure. Yeah, that was when you were part time. If it just my coaching Clean Nation is if you're going to go to trade show, because usually they cost money. Booth can be anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple thousand, depending on how big the show is. Make sure it's targeted, right? You don't just want humans. You want, if you're a residential cleaner like Ms. Joceyln here, you want generally dual income families, college educated people, married people that own their home that, depending on your area, have a 350 plus house, maybe 500,000 in some areas. So those are the type of home shows you want to go to. And by golly, you absolutely want to sign people up because it's a lot of work, right? Did you go to one day shows or multiple day shows or?
just one day.
Okay, so those aren't as bad. You get a multiple day show. I've seen people build $1 million business just off of trade shows, not cleaning business, but you can sign big contracts at trade shows. You do the multiple days, it'll suck the life out of you. Okay, so 0 to 7 clients from word of mouth, friends, family, a couple trade shows. Were you doing all the cleaning at this point?
Yes.
Okay, so the first 7 months, picked up 7 clients, about a client a month. Sounds like you were not working too hard on the client acquisition part. You're just doing the cleaning yourself, making good money, part-time, no big deal. School ends and you go nuts to that. This is for real now. Well, you tell me, I'm telling your story. Like I have no clue what you did. Tell me what happens kind of in your mind and in reality once school ended for you.
Well, that is what I did. I decided I made pretty good money, just, even the part-time. And I thought, well, I've been learning about business and I've been learning about people. So I want to see if maybe I can apply that and make something out of it. And so I just started advertising and learning. I signed up with you so I could learn more about the actual cleaning industry. I mean, I know how to clean, but I needed to learn about the business part of it from that standpoint. So I've just been learning everything that I can, and I signed up for Home Advisor. Was my first marketing, I guess, that I really did.
Sure.
And then Facebook, I started getting more intense on Facebook.
Let's talk about your experience with Home Advisor and then Facebook, because I love hearing. I know what I coach and I know what I like. I know what my clients do, but I love hearing everything, good and bad. So, how much did you spend with Home Advisor? How many? And again, I know I'm asking real specific questions. So, if there's any point you're like, "Hey, I don't want to share that," that's totally fine. But I just know the audience. I mean, I'm telling you, you are helping a ton of people, Christina, because I can say do this and that and the other. But it's been years since I had my cleaning company, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, Mike, you're rich. You've been doing this forever. You're different, right?" But you are representative of a lot of people listening, right? Maybe I'm full time, maybe I'm part time, maybe I've got kids at home. Maybe I know how to clean better than most people I know, but I don't know as much about it. So I'm telling you, your help. So when I'm getting nosy, is not to to beat you up. I promise you're giving some value. So tell me about the Home Advisor. How much did it cost? How many leads did you get? How many sales? Good experience, bad experience? Walk us through.
Well, it cost me $300 to sign up for the yearly fee, and then I think I've put about $500 or $600 into it since then.
Okay,
But
so just about almost $1,000 total.
But I had saved up the money for it because I knew, you got to put money into it to make money. So
thank you. Hold on. I got to stop you 1 second. I get so frustrated when I have people go, Mike, how can I grow my cleaning company? I have no money. Get a job. You cannot. The beautiful thing about the cleaning business is low barrier to entry. Do you need $100,000 to get started? No, you do not. I had a car dealership, not cheap to get into. Cleaning business, cheap to get into. That does not mean you can have $0, right? When you went to the trade show and they said it's $300 or whatever it was, you wrote a check and you don't worry about it. Now, if they said it'd be $50,000, you're going to pass on that. I know you have a website, so you wrote a check for that. You're in the coaching that costs money. So again, do you have to have tens of thousands of dollars? No, you do not. Should you have a couple $1,000s laying around? Absolutely. If you literally have no money, you should not start even a cleaning business. Get a job, save up some money, and then when you're fully prepared, get into the cleaning business. So I just want to encourage you that, I know you spent, I don't know how much you spent on your website, don't care, but I know that you spent money on it. You spent money on these trade shows and you spent money in Home Advisor. And it wasn't huge money, right? We're not saying, Christina, do you have $50,000 laying around? Well, that's not reasonable, but just knowing like, hey, I can spend money. This isn't like, well, I can either make rent or I could sign up for Home Advisor. You had the money. That's huge. Sorry. That really upsets me. And I'm glad that you went the right way. Go right ahead.
And I want to say too, to like encourage anybody who thinks that you need a lot of money. I made a decision when I started this company. One of the reasons why I decided to go into the cleaning, because it doesn't have huge overhead or startup costs.
Sure.
But I decided to go debt free.
Love
And
it.
I saved up, like even paying for the coaching every month. Like I've saved up with with the money that I made cleaning. I saved up to then reinvest into it because I know that that's the only way that it's going to grow. So you don't have to have a lot of money even saved up. I mean, I haven't had a full time job, but I was in school and I still made enough
Yeah.
to get kicked off.
And I love the debt free piece too. I get so many people going, I'm broke, I don't have any money, and I can't get anyone to lend me money. If you're going to start certain businesses, they're capital intensive, capital, I can't even talk. Some businesses are capital intensive, and it is reasonable to say, I need a line of credit, I need banking relationships, I need VC, I need access to capital. I get that. The cleaning business is not that. So I love and this wasn't me. This is Christina knowing this stuff before we met, saying, I want to go debt free. There's no reason to, if you have to go into debt in the cleaning business, you're doing something wrong. You have a broken business model. Borrowing money from someone else to dump into your crappy business is not going to fix it. Christina did it right and said, I have a good business model that's throwing off cash. I'm choosing to reinvest some or all of that cash back into the business. That's fine. If you need to borrow from your household income or your credit card or what you're putting money in some businesses, that's appropriate. In the cleaning business, residential and commercial, that's inappropriate. Your business model's broken. Fix that. Don't borrow money. It's just going to let you keep going with this crappy business model for a longer time until no one else will lend you money. Now you're in a real spot. So nice job, Christina. That was not something we had talked about. It was in my coaching. I mean, I think I talked about it, but Christina knew that before. You don't need a ton of money, but you need some money, and there's no reason to go into debt. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. You keep saying smart things. I have to tell the world, like, pay attention. Christina's on fire. Go ahead, sister. So you put $300 up. Go ahead.
It's not even just you don't need debt, but I mean the blessing about the cleaning company is since you don't need it, then if you get in a lot of debt before you start a business, then you're going to need the money. And when you need the money, then it's really hard to turn away the people that aren't good for your business. And your coaching helped me really realize. I mean, it helped me realize that I wanted that niche of just regular routine cleans because I want to provide good jobs for my employees, and I want something that doesn't stress me out. And the move outs were completely stressing me out. And I realized if I had debt, I would feel like I needed to take those, and I didn't. And now I've managed to like triple the people that I had in just a couple of months without the stress of a bunch of jobs I didn't want to have. Like I have the company that I actually want. It's still really small, but it's still the company that I was hoping to get. So,
but let's put it in perspective. First of all, I'm only going to count 2 months because from what you've told me, the first 7 months, you didn't start a cleaning company. You were cleaning for friends and family for money personally. That's not a company. That's like, if I came and helped you move, you gave me $100. That's not a business.
I did have a business though. I got my business license in October.
Yeah. I get that. Whenever you formed your LLC and all that stuff, fine. But full-time, and I found this over and over again with folks that go full-time. That's a huge thing. They'll do this, and they go full-time and like that. It's huge. So sure, you took 6 or 7 months to build the foundation. You went from 0 to 7 clients, which isn't a ton, but when you're in school and you're doing all the cleaning yourself and you're a mom and a wife, you got, that's fine. So tell me what happened so far since, so the home advisor happened after you went full-time, correct?
Yes.
Working with me happened after you went full-time.
Well, both of those were kind of right after school was over with. I went to Disney World. And I had a little bit of
obviously.
I said when we got back from Disney World, I was going to sign up with you, and I was going to sign up with Home Advisor, and I did both at the same time, and then it really went off after that. I don't think I was prepared for it. I didn't have a long enough trip in Disney World.
But I love that you did that. You're like, hey, I was in school, I was working. I'm going to get serious about this, but dang it, I'm going to take a little bit of time with the kids and relax. And I know when I get back, it's game on. Good for you. That's fantastic. So that was 2 months ago when you came back from Disneyland or Worldland?
3 months, because I just started my 3rd month with y'all.
Okay, so just about 3 months. And you had no employees, 7 customers at that time.
Yes.
How many customers / employees do you have as of today?
I have 3 employees and 25 customers.
That's ridiculous.
I have several other customers that when I first started off, they would have me clean for them. So I'll go like maybe once a month or every now and then. But for regular customers that are on my schedule, I have 25.
That's huge. And are those mostly every other week cleaning?
Mm-hmm. They average about $220 per month each customer.
Yeah, it should be about $250. So that's a little low, but that's fine. So God bless you, Christina. That is awesome. You went from, I'm cleaning some folks' house for some extra walking around money, which is really what you're doing. 7 houses, you're doing it yourself. Good money, but that's not a business. And you did that for 7 months because you're in school. That's fine. I love that you're like, okay, I'm coming back. And I love that you had a plan. You're like, I'm signing up for this coaching and I'm going to go to Home Advisor. And I'm going to put my eggs in those baskets. And it sounds like those baskets have paid off. 25 customers in 2 months. That means you picked up 18, right? Because you already had 7, assuming nobody quit. You picked up 18. That's 9 a month. That's 2 a week. If you keep that up, you're going to be a $500,000 company in about 18 months.
Oh, no. I don't think I'm ready for that.
Well, then you better slow down. I'm just telling you what's coming your way. Actually, you're already now. If that's if you went from 0, you're not at 0. So you'll be a $500,000 company sometime between 12 and 18 months at that pace.
Well, we'll see. You're teaching me. You've taught me quite a bit so far. Maybe I'll learn enough that I'll be able to handle it.
That is what the accelerator program is for. All right. So tell me about the Home Advisor. Of the 18 new clients you got, and again, if you don't know, I'm putting you on, just so you know, Christy and I decided we're going to do this earlier today. I'm totally abusing her. So I don't know is a totally acceptable answer. Just do the best that you can. Of the 18 new clients that you got in the last 2 months, how many would you guess, or if you know, how many came from Home Advisor?
Honestly, I think I only got 4 or 5.
Okay. So that's good. So $1,000 in, give or take, it was maybe a little less. You got, let's call it 5 customers. Are those all recurring customers? Okay. So that's not bad. Because if you think about it, say you're only charging $200 a month, and I'm guessing you're averaging a little more than that. It says my internet connection is unstable.
I only signed up in Home Advisor. Actually, I think I signed up for Home Advisor right after I signed up with you. Because I think I had watched your first module, and I had decided that I wanted to kind of see if I could do something with the reoccurring. So when I signed up for Home Advisor, I specifically put I only wanted reoccurring leads. So they've only sent me leads for that.
And I'm telling you, that is part of why you have a niche. You can say, I only want these type of leads because you know the business you're in. So even though you think, well, gosh, let's call it $1,000, and I know it was less than that, but say $1,000, and say you got 5 customers, and they average $200 a month. And I know they average more than that. So we're being very conservative here. $200 a month times 5 customers, that's $1,000. And I know you had to pay for your cost of goods sold, but basically month 2, you're break even. Those customers are just profit from here on out. Not bad. Not a bad little investment on your end. Just saying.
A couple referrals from them too, and I signed up a couple more recurring from the referrals from the Home Advisor people. So it's not even just, so I really got extra value from it because they brought me more people, and I didn't pay for them.
Dadgum right, you did not have to pay for them. All right, so that's, I would say, a B+ experience. You tell me for Home Advisor. Do you feel like that anything bad about Home Advisor that you want to let folks know that you? And again, we are not affiliated with Home Advisor. We're not a sponsor. I have no for or against, and this is just one woman's experience. I'm sure if I talk to 20 people, someone have a far better experience and someone have a far worse experience. This is not. We're not beating up Home Advisor. Trying to give value. So anything that didn't work as well, or any kind of, I don't say warnings, but things you wish you would have known before you signed up.
Well, one thing you need to know is that honestly, I think I got 18 leads. Okay. So I paid for quite a few leads. A lot of them don't even call you back. So, I signed up 5 people, and like you said, for the money that I spent, it made it up in a month. Just know when you're going into it. A lot of the leads they sent me weren't even ones that they weren't what I was looking to work with necessarily. In fact, I had one lady who just flat out told me that what I was charging was ridiculous, and scooted me out the door. So been a learning experience, but the one thing I was grateful for it because it did help me get started, but it did overwhelm me. It's very fast, so if you're not ready for getting a whole bunch of people, then be careful because they slam the leads at you,
which is great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's just not targeted enough. I think that's the biggest complaint that I have.
Okay.
I put a 10-mile radius, but it sends me to the far corners of those 10-mile radius, and I really want to stay more in certain areas. And so,
well, we'll move to Facebook because that's where you can do exactly that by zip code or by whatever. So, and first of all, I just want to say I like how you look at it because a lot of people would look at it in a way I think is inappropriate, which is I had to pay for 20 leads and only 5 of them closed. So 75% of my leads were junk and I still had to pay for them. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is let's say your average customer stays with you 2 years. That's very, you should be able to do much better than that. Some will leave in 6 months, but some will stay for 10 years. So let's just say 2 years. And the average is 200, and you said 220. I've got my phone here. $220 average times 24 months. 220 times 24 months times five customers, right? Times 5 customers. $26,000 in revenue you got for $1,000. So I like that you're looking at the effective way, which is not, I had to pay for lead. Who cares? You spend $1,000 to get, give or take, $20,000 or $30,000 of revenue. Come on, make that deal every day. So just, I'm not pitching Home Advisor here. I'm just saying, make sure you look at it correctly. Don't cry over the parts that you didn't make money on or the leads that weren't good. Just look, how much did I spend? How much did I get? Is that something worthwhile? As long as you can maintain those numbers, Christina, God bless you. Keep going. All right. So then you said, great, I want to get a little more targeted. You jumped into Facebook, and I'm telling you, Facebook, it's like fire, man. Fire can save your life if you're cold, and it can light your house on fire. It can really waste a lot of money, or it can you can build millions of dollars of businesses in it. How was your experience?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't go advertising as in going on to Facebook groups, because when I first started researching the cleaning companies, I went to on a bunch of Facebook house cleaning groups. And it seems like you get more drama out of Facebook groups looking for clients than you really do good business.
Okay.
So I more put my face out there. Like, I'll run an ad every now and then with like a good post that I like or something, or like a special. Like I was doing, I have a military special that I started around the 4th of July. I ran one for that. I got a lot of good feedback. Just, I do it more just to get my face out there in people's faces, not necessarily looking for their work, particularly like going into like advertising, like come hire me, that kind of thing. I more have used it to get my face out there so people see me.
So let me encourage you, and I know this is a case study, but you're doing such a poster child and doing so many things right. I hate to just have you say that and me not comment, not just for you, but also for the listeners. So what you're talking about is branding and brand building. Fair? If we are Coca-Cola and have $100 million to spend in the first quarter of 2017, and we've been a brand for 100 years, brand building is fantastic. Same with Microsoft, all these big brands. When we are the level that we're at, anywhere below probably $30-40 million, unless you're in a very, very targeted market, we cannot afford brand building. We do what's called direct response marketing. That means I put out an ad and you either respond to it or you don't, and I can count those responses and I can monetize those responses. So we don't have the budget to say, hey, we're going to give $100 here to show my face, or a couple $100 there so they know me. If that happens is a part of our direct response marketing, fantastic. We'll take that as a free bonus, but we never pay for branding at this level. Now, you don't have to say, here's an ad, hire me. Okay? You can say, here's an ad, download a lead magnet, or here's an ad, here's a free, we'll come out and do an analysis of your home, or we'll do a free free carpet cleaning, or a free sample, or you have to put them in a funnel. So there must be a direct response. Do this thing. Go to my website, sign up for my lead funnel, give me a call, fill out an email, respond to this email, book an appointment, whatever you want to do. There must be a response, and that response must be in a continuum to a sale. So we don't just give a lead magnet to give a lead magnet so people will like us. We give a lead magnet so they can know, like, and trust us, so we can continue giving them information, so at some point we can make an offer. And we're going to track all of those steps. So we never, ever, ever brand without some sort of a point to making them an offer. What good does it do for you to say, hey, here's all the things you can do once we've saved your family all this time, and all the things you can do with your kids and hang out, and here's this amazing life that you can have, but then I'm not going to give you the solution. How terrible would it be for me to do this podcast, and when people say, Mike, I'm desperate to grow my cleaning company, I believe everything you say, please help me. I'm like, nah, we don't do that. Just the free stuff, whatever you can get on the podcast. If you can't figure it out from that, go pound sand. That's terrible. That would be a terrible disservice. So I do this podcast for free because I want to be able to sift and sort and get the Christinas of the world that are committed and not waste my time with the Yahoos, right? So long story short, we do not spend any money on branding or quote unquote getting our face out there. We only spend money for direct response in some sort of continuum to make an offer. If they don't take the offer, that's fine, but you always have an offer and we always track it, right? We always say, this investment was about $1,000. I got about 5 clients. Each client is worth about this much money. It was a profitable endeavor or a losing endeavor. If we can't track it, we don't do it. Period, period, period. Deal? Pinky swear?
Yes. Yeah.
I got my pinky here.
Pinky.
Can you wait? That just got weird. All right. You keep trying to do an amazing case study, and I keep yammering on like an idiot. All right. So you did the Facebook, not intentionally at this point to get customers, really just to get your face out there. How did that work out for you? Honestly, if it worked out great, I'm not, you make me look stupid. It was fantastic. That's great. I just want to know your experience.
Well, I mean, it's grown. Like the number of people that are liking it and that comment and stuff have grown. Like and I remember you saying that too in some of your training, how there should be a call to action and everything. So I've started in my post that I do like ask for responses. Like I'll put something funny. I'll say like, what do you think about this? Or does this happen in your house or something? And I've gotten more people to respond. So it's growing very slowly, but it is doing better than it was when I wasn't messing with it at all. So.
And again, free stuff is always fine. You can engage all you want. You don't have to have a call to action for everything that you do. For every dollar that you spend on client attraction, we're going to have a call to action. So if you're just like, hey, I'm engaging because I like it and it's that I'm just doing that, that's fine. But for your marketing budget, right? Because we're little, we have a finite budget. You may not have $2-3 grand a month to spend on marketing or client attraction. You might only have $200 or $300. So we can't waste any of that. Every one of those dollars has to come back with a couple of its buddies. Okay. And let me just tell you what that looks like. So right now, you're like, what would you say your client attraction budget is? Just make one up.
Probably right around what you said.
Couple $100 a month?
$300.
That's fine. And I like 5 to 10% of your revenue. It sounds like we're kind of close in numbers. So that's fine. Let's just look at this scenario. You got $300. You go to Facebook or a trade show or whatever you do just to get your name out there. And you get 1,000 likes and 2,700 comments and all this good stuff and a bunch of conversation. No one buys nothing. Your budget's going to be $300 forever, right? It can't grow because you're not picking up any new clients. Now, let's say you put it in a Home Advisor or a Facebook ad, and those ads bring in clients, right? And just like with Home Advisor, and again, it's not that this will stay forever, but you spend $1,000, you got, what do we figure out? About $1,000 a month in new customers? No, 5 times 200. Yeah, $1,000 to $1,200 in new customers. You basically broke even month one, right?
From Home Advisor?
Yeah, from Home Advisor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I know this isn't, so let's say we did that with Facebook, right? You're able to put an ad out there. You spent $1,000 and you got $1,000 a month of new customers. Let's say $1,500 a month of new customers. So you actually have a little, because obviously you have to pay your cleaners. So even if you make $1,000, you don't get all that. You have to pay your cleaners. But let's say you make $1,500 in new sales per month. Your budget now is just about infinite, right? You could spend $5,000 to get new customers because you're going to get $7,500 a month of customers. So when you have direct response marketing and you know your numbers, your budget goes up very quickly. When you're just doing quote unquote branding, your budget never changes. It never goes up. It's always $300. You never get a new client, so you can't ever spend more money. It's a nasty little trap. So the better return you have on your investment, the bigger your marketing budget can be. And I want to get to the point where next time we talk and do a case study like this a year from now, you're like, yeah, I spend about $8,500 a month on client attraction. Here's what I do. And here's how we're growing. All right. Enough of that. You did the Home Advisor. You did the Facebook. Is that where all of your clients come from, or do you have something else? Wait, are those children?
Yes.
Well, give me a little, scoot the camera. Give me a little action. Where that, we got any cute kids back there? On the podcast, her husband was the star. Now apparently the kids are going to be the star.
Christian, come and be cute.
Now he's going to get shy. Now he don't want to come probably.
No? What do you mean by that?
There we go. That's one of them right there.
That is a hand. Is your boy's name Christian?
Yes.
I have a boy named Christian who's like 2 years old, and he's almost as cute as you are. I got to tell you, he's little. He's got the cute vibe. And you got the good toothy smile. You're packing, son. Well played.
Where are the scissors?
All right, tune in next week for where the scissors are in the Joceyln household. We'll make it a 2-parter. Okay, so it sounds like when you went full time, that's when you skyrocket. Kind of 0 to 7 months, 0 to 7 customers, 0 employees doing all the work yourself. Months 7 to 9, when you went full time, 7 to 25 customers, 0 to 3 employees.
Yes.
Cool. Is Home Advisor the just kind of the referrals and Facebook pretty much how you got all those employees, or is there some other secret sauce that you want to share?
Nope.
That was
that's
it. Okay. Cool.
And then I've gone around too. I did a lot of like around town. Like I went and put my business cards everywhere. I put flyers up, and I actually got a couple from just flyers that I put up too.
Like at the grocery store or door hangers? What do you mean by flyers?
Post office, grocery store. I haven't tried door hangers yet. I don't really know how that works yet. So I've just mostly done anywhere I can hang it up. I've gone into businesses and I've asked them if I bought like those little cheap business card holders, and I'd go put my business cards out in different businesses just and I've gotten a couple of my clients that way too.
If you want to supercharge that strategy, put a bowl of candy with it.
That would work.
You'll get customers say a lot, yes. Can I leave this free bowl of candy here? And is it okay now that I've given you a bunch of candy to put my business cards next to it? You're going to get a heck of a lot more yeses with that than, don't laugh. I'm going to edit that out. It never happened. You're going to get a lot more yeses with the, hey, can I give a free bowl of candy here? Oh, and by the way, I can throw my business card in. And then what's going to happen is they're going to run out of candy periodically, generally once a week. You go back every week to fill up their candy, and my business cards happen to run out as well. I'll fill those up as well. So and the good thing is you can kind of know who's, I don't want to say converting, but where you're getting a lot of calls for, and you make sure you fill those every week. The ones that you don't get calls, you just don't go back and fill anymore. All right, cool. So and I love, those are just some easy, like, you don't have to be a rocket science. You don't have to be a marketing genius to do a couple of trade shows, tell your friends, hang up flyers, sign up with Home Advisor, like do kind of be social, be friendly on Facebook. I mean, 7 to 25 customers in 2 months, that's solid. Let's talk to the employees. What was that like in terms of, a lot of people have fears around that. Were you scared? How'd you do it? How'd you overcome the fear? Walk us through that process.
Oh shoot, yeah, I was scared. and it still makes me a little nervous because there's one, and that's one thing that I still struggle with, and even having just these three, the scheduling, like I don't even truly, understand scheduling, like full schedules and like how many hours each person. I mean, I don't have any experience with that, so this is all like I'm winging all of it. So I don't want to. And I love all my clients. I don't want to mess that up. And the people that work for me, I've found some really great people so far, and hopefully it works out. But I know.
How many questions did you? How many questions? How many people did you have to hire to get to 3? Did you have to hire 6? Did you just hire 3 and they all stayed with you? Talk to me about that.
I hired 3.
That's fantastic, Christina. That is atypical. Oftentimes you have to hire 9 to get 3.
But they're still. I mean, but we're in the middle. We're training. So I mean, it's not. I've hired them, but I don't even have like a month or anything behind me to know.
Still, they got 2-3 weeks behind them.
One of them does. The other one just started early.
Yeah, typically if they're going to quit, it's going to be the first week.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, not that they won't quit 2 months from now or 3 months or 6. No one's at some point they're all going to quit, right? Or you're going to fire them. But if they stay with the first couple of weeks, that's a good indicator that you got at least a couple months out of them. So that's fantastic. So you were nervous. You are nervous. How'd you overcome your fear? What got you from, I'm scared to do this, can I really do this? Will it work? I don't know what I'm doing, to here I am with 3 employees and 25 customers.
Well, to be honest, the group has helped a lot. Talking to people who have done it and who have been there, and listening to their stories. And I remember when I first started, I was scared about a lot of stuff. But, like I love learning. And remember, you told me when I first started, you can learn all day long, but then if you never apply it, it doesn't absolutely no good. And so I know that getting out there, and so I really worked hard to get myself out there. Like Home Advisor, I actually gotten more value out of Home Advisor from going and doing the bids, because I did the bids. Since I spent that kind of money on it, I made sure that I bid where I knew I was going to make money. I didn't want to bid too low. I'm a little bit under still, but I did it high enough. And each one that I did, I only had a couple that even turned me down and a couple that I didn't accept, but each one gave me more confidence. So it's like the more that I do it, the more confidence I get. And with my employees, the first one may not even end up staying. She's going to have a scheduling conflict, and that's why I went ahead and hired the third, because I'm expecting to build another team with that. But they already have a pretty much full schedule, so I already know that I'm probably going to have to try to hire another one if I'm going to continue to grow. And I'm a little nervous about that because I don't really know how that looks. Like I don't really know how you start integrating people in without, like with them, I built it up to where I was doing all the cleaning, and then I had too much, so then I hired them. So now that I have them, I don't really know how to then, do I do the same thing, just build back up cleaning myself till I have enough to hire someone else? See, like those are the things, and that's what I've gotten a lot of value from the group, because I can hear how people.
And real quick, when she says the group, she's talking about the accelerator. There's a lot of people going, what are you talking about? What group? I need this group. The accelerator group, if you go to growmycleaningcompany.com, you can get all the details. Go ahead.
Yeah, because this is specific for the cleaning business, so I'm able to ask questions. But there's some, and that I still have fears. Like, I'm still scared to death what I'm gonna do. I don't want to mess up. People are relying on me for money, and I don't want to mess that up. And people are relying on me to do a good job cleaning their house, and I don't want to mess that up. And so there's a lot of what ifs. But you know, if you don't try, then you'll get nowhere. So I'm just trying.
I am so glad we're doing this, because I am predicting. I'll tell you, just so you know how old I am. My boy is 19. He just graduated high school last year. Got out of the house last year, and I still have a video I took with him in the car the night before he went to his freshman year of high school. And I remember how I felt. I was kind of scared and whatever. So I'm like, I'm just going to video him before high school. I'm like, how do you feel? What are you excited about? What are you scared about? We talked for like 5 minutes, and it's a great video that is awesome, because now he's a man and he's on his own. He's got his own place. He's like an adult. And that video is good to have. So I am so glad that we're going to have this video. So a year from now, and Christina's like, I've got, 7 teams. I've got 100 clients. We've got a real business and things going. She could look back at this video and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so nervous and scared. And now I don't have time for any of that nonsense. I got a company to run. What are your goals? Is that something you're hoping for? What if we redo this in a year, where would you like to be? And this will help me and the Accelerator team hold you accountable.
Well, I'm still on the fence about how much growth I want, because I do want a company with several teams, and I want to make good money.
What's good money to you?
Oh, I don't.
Start there. Because so many people just want to grow. Like, I got to have if they got $100,000 company, they want a 2. If they got a 2, they want a 5. They want a 5, they want a million, on and on and on. Really, let's start with where you want. If you're like, I want to make $86,000 a year, I'm just making up numbers, and I want to work 25 hours a week or whatever the case may be, well, let's reverse engineer a company for you that will provide that result, right? Let's not just grow and grow and grow. Let's say, what's the easiest, quickest way to $86,000 a year? Well, that's 72 customers paying at least, let's figure it out. So I would encourage you, figure out the money part first, right? So many people start with the revenue. I got guys doing $1 million not making any money, right? That's not helpful, right? Let's not get you to $500,000 and you're like, you come back here, I've got all these teams, I've got all these customers, all this money coming in. Great, how much you making? None. I'm broke. Well, let's not do that. Let's keep you small and make money. So you don't have to share that right now, but I'd encourage you, think through, how much do I want to talk? Take your husband out to dinner and be like, hey, let's talk about this. How much time do I want to invest in this company? How much money do we want it to bring in? And then, in the Accelerator group, we can help kind of reverse engineer what that would look like.
Yeah, that's good. Because I would like to see where it can go. So, but I'm not looking to have like a national chain or something like that. I like being involved in it. Like, I like it not so huge that I couldn't have contact with like customers and, be in, like, I want to be, so I don't want to necessarily be like a CEO up here that has just like tons of like franchises under me or something. I'm not really trying to get quite that big, because I enjoy being a part of it. Like, that's one thing I enjoyed about the team, was I love people. And I want to still be a part of all that. Like, I'm not trying to grow so big that I am distancing myself from that necessarily.
So you might, instead of money, you might figure out people, right? Like a team of 30, I feel like I could be involved with, but a team of 80, I feel like I'd lose touch. And again, there's no right answer. I had a podcast with a guy earlier who said someone had told him, like, if you don't make $100,000, not profit, but just your company, if it's not doing $100,000 in revenue, you haven't accomplished anything. And I'm like, who is this idiot to tell you what you've accomplished? Maybe you just want to work 10 hours a week and make an extra $3-4 grand a month. Like, that's your business. So I like profit, because that's how I keep score. But for you, if it's, I want to create 50 good jobs and have 50 good relationships with people, that's fine. It doesn't have to be profit. It just does have to be specific, right? So I would really encourage you to, let's figure out where we want to be, whether it's team members or payroll or profit. You can even do revenue. Just make sure that that's really what you want, right? If you don't say revenue when you really want profit or employees or a lifestyle or whatever. So, cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can ask that Cleaning Nation is going to want to know. Yeah. Last thing on the employees. How'd you go about getting employees?
got a couple recommendations from friends.
Okay.
And then one I put a Facebook ad.
Okay.
Just through Facebook for my area. And I had a bunch of people respond. Only one out of those I thought would be a good fit for the company, and she ended up working here. So,
well, it's the same thing with that Indeed, right? You get 18 leads, or what do we say, 20 leads, and 15 of them were no good. Okay, well, but 5 were great. So if you get 23 bad applicants and one good hire that sticks with you for a year, that's a big fat win.
Yep.
All right, I have asked all the questions. I've squeezed all the brain juice out of you I can possibly do. I'm going to give you before we close up, I'm going to give you an open forum to give any encouragement or warnings or advice, any value you think that you've got that you'd like to share with Cleaning Nation that we haven't already talked about. You go right ahead, and I will listen with bated breath.
Well, I know.
Wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I quit. I had my notes from earlier. See, I had them all written down.
I was going to say, you can still we were going to do the lightning round. Did you bring the notes?
I did. Hold on. Let me grab them.
All right. She's gone. We did when we did the podcast, she tried to game the system, and she knew what, obviously I do the same questions every day for the lightning round. So she said, I planned these and I got my answers. And for some reason that offended me. So I made 3 whole new questions, and she didn't get to do the lightning round. So I promised her if we did a case study, we would do the lightning round with her. And now she is getting notes.
I know. And that's just so wrong. I was so ready for that.
It was awful of me. I'm a terrible human being. I won't dispute you.
Now I can't find my notes.
Well, so. Now it's on you. I told you they would be welcome at this forum. And if you choose not to bring them, that's between you and God.
All right, fine. Well, I know when I put on there, I know one of the best advice that I got, and that was what I had said earlier, was I was really scared when I first started this. And I was learning, which I believe you need to know, what you're doing when you're doing something. But it does come to a point where the only way that you're going to know is just by getting out there and doing it.
Yes.
And I've gotten more, in the last 2 months, I have gotten more confidence just from getting out there and doing the stuff that scared the crap out of me before I started. And it doesn't even take that long. Like it took just several estimates for me to get comfortable with that. It took me a couple interviewing employees, and now I feel pretty comfortable about that. Like, just get out there and do it, and ask lots of questions. I know that's, even though you do have to get out there and do it, I've learned the hard way to ask lots of questions, not just from your clients, but from people you're doing business with, like website building or just any part of the business. Ask lots of questions, because if you know what's expected out of you and they know what's expected out of them, then it saves a lot of, I guess, headache and worry and stuff. I have a very bad habit of making emotional decisions. And one of the hardest things about running a business is learning to just be prepared enough to where when I get in a situation, I'm not making a decision based on my emotions or what I'm feeling about it, but based on the facts that I have and what is going on and where I need to be. And so I think that the more confidence I get, the easier that is for me to do. But I don't know, just for encouragement, I don't know, just give it a shot. Like, you have no idea. I did my numbers the other day. I said this, and I'm making way less than I'm sure anybody did. But I'm making like what would be a paycheck. Of course, I have paid employees, so it's not really a paycheck for me. But I'm making more than I've ever made in any other job that I've had in my life, and it's something that I built in
like 2 months. If we're honest with each other, really, the 7 months wasn't much. Really, in 2 months.
Yeah. And that's exciting. And I remember when I first moved here too last year, when I was doing all these interviews with trying to find a job. And I had my manager ask, what is your plans for the future? And I said, which I'm sure is not a good answer for a job you're trying to get at that time. I said, honestly, I told her that I know that you can enjoy any job if you enjoy the people you work with. And my long-term goal would be to own my own company where I could provide that kind of environment for someone else. And I remember into the second month of this summer, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did that in less than a year.
You got to call that interviewer back and be like, oh, by the way, I know the job didn't work out, but I've got my own job. If and when you'd like to come work for me, give me a call.
No, it's so big. Like when I first started, the idea of growing your own business sounded so intimidating, and there's still parts of it that intimidate me. But like just getting started, the more you do it, the more confidence you get. And now I'm like, I could really do this, and like I'm doing it. I'm making money, and I'm even making a profit. Like it's not a whole lot, but I mean, I'm making a profitable business, and I've read so many books of companies, like you said, millions of dollars, and they're not even making a profit. Like I'm proud that it may not be huge numbers, but I'm making something off of it, and that's something to be proud of. And like, I don't know.
I got to tell you, Christina, being in this business 2 months full time, having 25 employees or 3 employees and 25 customers is fantastic. All I do every day, all day is talk with owners of cleaning companies, and you are right on track. You're doing fantastic. From my perspective, watching you in the face in our private accelerator group, the questions that you ask, and a lot of, some people ask the same question or variation of the question over and over. Christina asks a question and then she does some work, and then that'll create new questions. She'll ask that question, but there's constantly this going forward, and the questions are getting better. The caliber is getting better. You are so on track. I love it. If Cleaning Nation wants to get a hold of you and stalk you because they think you're amazing, they want to hear more of your story, anywhere you can send them?
My website's www.yourhappyhousecleaner.com, and then I have the Facebook page too, Your Happy House Cleaner. My website's under construction because I hired someone to fix it for me a little bit because technology is not necessarily my strong point.
As a business owner, you should not be building a website. That's not where.
I learned
that. All right. On that note, that was fantastic. Christina, thank you so much for being on the show. Go to yourhappyhousecleaner.com for all things Christina, growmycleaningcompany.com for all things growing your cleaning company. Thanks for jumping in. Christina, you're a rock star, and Cleaning Nation, we'll see you next time.